see them taking on new responsibilities that they have never had before, that they would not have taken on before they got into positive production. You see their self-esteem building. You see new people. They actually become new people.
That's why we have programs here in this jail, because we want to see the day that we don't have to have all these jail beds.
If you wanted to just warehouse a person for a long period of time, that's very easy to do. But if you want to put out an individual that might fit back out into society and become a good taxpayer and citizen, then there are certain things you need to do.
Jefferson County Sheriff Carl Griffith recognized that need and began to do something about it shortly after taking office in 1989. 3 years later, the Jefferson County Sheriff's Department began moving inmates into a brand new direct supervision correctional facility on 69 acres just south of the Beaumont city limits. The direct supervision concept at the new facility provided the atmosphere for inmate work and education programs.
It's a job to do, to get these people off the streets to protect the citizens, and I think we balance that with a facility that's designed to try to keep them out of the system, because I saw that what we were doing by just arresting people and throwing them and warehousing them in a jail had no impact.
Officers started talking about how they could get inmates involved in more productive activities.
You look around and you see people shooting basketball and people laying around the bunks and watching TV. It's a waste of a good human resource. So we decided to put some things together, and we started with a small work program, and today it's bigger than we ever imagined it would have been.
In recognition of a job very, very well done.
Deputies Michelle Patterson and Gary Sarge created an inmate work and education program in April of 1993 called Positive Production. The officers designed the program to teach inmates skills they can use to become productive members of society once they're released from jail. The cornerstone of the program is a fully operating wood shop. The wood shop started in a small dormitory classroom with inmates making a few small wooden crafts. It quickly outgrew that space and moved outside to a rec yard. Today, the Positive Production wood shop occupies a full-size dormitory building, and the work is not confined there. Inmates sell the wooden crafts and furniture to the general public in front of the correctional facility, and all the money goes back into the program. The program got its initial funding by borrowing $300 from the Inmate Commissary Fund. Today, the program is entirely funded by sales from the wood shop and other inmate industries and services. Most inmates in Positive Production start by working in the wood shop. There they learn a lot more than just how to build a piece of patio furniture.
It is teaching them that every morning you're going to get up, you're going to go to work, you're going to work a 40-hour week, you're going to do something to stay busy. It doesn't matter whether they're working with wood or if they're cutting grass or whatever they're doing. What you're doing is you're building a work ethic.
Let me have a cheeseburger with French fries all the way.
Okay, you want that basket?
In addition to the wood shop, a large portion of the funding for Positive Production comes from the jail's burger barn. Inmates grill up omelets and sausage for an early morning breakfast and burgers and fries for a late night snack for officers and inmates.
We have a daily lunch that we're doing now that we're trying to see how that's going to work. We're just starting this week. We have a special like 3 times a week on beans and rice and sausage.
What's really good?
The beans and rice are real good.
Working in the jail's burger barn teaches inmates more than just how to make a good hamburger.
Not only does it give us something to do and to be out of the dorm, it gives us a sense of self-esteem. A lot of us have lost our self-esteem. And this has really been something that was really good for me.
After a full day of work, inmates are required to attend life skills classes.
Which tells me you should write it next time like that.
These classes focus on things like decision-making, anger management, and communication skills. As the inmates progress through the 4-level program, they learn about finding and keeping a job and how to manage their finances. They're also required to get their general equivalency diploma if they haven't graduated from high school.
Well, right now we're searching for a leak in the system.
Vocational classes in air conditioning and refrigeration prepare inmates for jobs once they're released from jail.
My skill that I had before I come in here was welding, and it was seasonal work. And this here, I can use it year-round.
Inmates can also get training in auto mechanics and auto body paint and repair.
Side to side, like a swing.
The goal here is that they got to realize that there's a struggle to everything that you want in life, and this is just an example of one of those kind of events that you might run into life.
Sometimes an inmate needs a little extra preparation for classroom learning and work training. A military-style boot camp inside the jail provides discipline and helps inmates build confidence in themselves.
Believe all the things that they're going through right now that's challenging them as individuals, they'll remember once they're in the classroom, and they'll say, well, if I can accomplish the dangle-do on the ropes course, then I can pass my GED test. Challenges make the person stronger.
Boot camp inmates live in a large tent with few, if any, comforts of home. Their training days begin several hours before the sun rises and end well into the night.
You know, and going through boot camp, Senior D.I. Weaver taught us, practice makes perfect. Work hard in here, you're gonna work hard in the world. Simple as that.
Tools over here, give me platoon formation over there, let's go, let's move.
Inmate labor in a variety of areas keeps the Jefferson County Correctional Facility in tip-top shape. Inmates help out with all kinds of cleanup jobs. Inmates on maintenance crews help county employees with all types of construction, maintenance, and yard work at the facility. No matter what the task, you'll likely find inmates doing the work, taking on some responsibility for themselves and their fellow inmates. Some of the work inmates take on, both inside and outside the correctional facility, falls into the category of community service. Inmates receive no compensation for community service other than the satisfaction of helping others.
I fix these bikes and give them away to kids that need them, that can't afford to buy them.
How's that make you feel?
Real good. Real good. It's very satisfying.
Under the supervision of deputies and corrections officers, an army of inmates invaded flooded neighborhoods in North Jefferson County in October 1994. Before the floodwaters hit, inmates worked day and night placing sandbags around homes. And as soon as the water began to recede, they moved in to help residents clean up. With the help of some local paint businesses and inmate labor, some low-income senior citizens are getting a fresh new look to their homes. Some other regular community service projects by inmates include cleaning up trash along the highway and sprucing up local landmarks and daycare centers. In the fourth and final phase of the Positive Production Program, inmates find jobs out in the community. Part of the money they earn goes back to the county to pay for their incarceration, and part goes into a savings account for the inmate for when he's released from jail. In some cases, inmates make financial restitution for their crimes. The outside employment is not only a practical way to help inmates get a fresh start financially when they're released from jail, but it also helps them continue to build the self-esteem they need to succeed. And most of the inmates are able to keep their jobs once they're released from jail. 38-year-old Cheryl Duraso works 12 to 13 hours a day, dividing her time between her family's floral and gift shop and a local beauty salon.
I think that the fact that this program is oriented toward giving these inmates the capacity to go out and find a job and become a productive member of our society is exactly the objective we ought to be shooting for.
Well, I believe there ought to be a price for crime, and I think part of the price that inmates ought to make is working. And I was very impressed by the setup in Jefferson County.
Although the inmate work and educational programs at the Jefferson County Correctional Facility haven't been around long enough to provide any type of long-term track record, early results are encouraging. State and federal officials continue to show their interest and support.
Which one of you want to talk to me about what this program does for you that you have not had before? I want to know what you're learning. Why is your life going to be any different after having done this program?
I've been incarcerated. This is my third fall. And what this program has done for me is helped me develop a sense of self-confidence.
Yes.
I'm starting to trust myself and believe in myself again.
I think it is a classic example of what you do when you hold people accountable, when you expect the best from them, when you give them the tools to be accountable.
My staff has reviewed literally hundreds of these types of efforts and initiatives statewide. This is among one of the very best in the state.
And the thing I love about the Jefferson County efforts is trying to figure out how best to make the situation work for their community. And I think that's the state's role, is to encourage innovative programs and to highlight those programs if they work and to say, well done.
Sheriff Griffith and his officers are dedicated to finding a way to turn the tide on crime. They believe finding a way to turn inmates back out into the community as law-abiding, productive citizens is a start.
They're going to be back on the streets, and we need to teach them how to work. We need to teach them some discipline, teach them how to earn a living so that they're not back into the facilities. We know that there's some that we can't turn around, but there are some that we can turn around, and that's what we're targeting, that population.
I hope that they can find something here at JCCF and the educational programs that will give them hope that they can find a job on the outside and not come back here.
Well, you're not going to change everybody, but you do it for the people that you can change. You do help some of these people.
Never give up.
You gonna make it this time?
Yes, ma'am. Sure am.
Let's go, baby!
I've learned a lot about myself. I've learned who I am and what I want out of life. Learned goals, no matter how small, set and achieved. It's part of my everyday routine.
Inside, I want something out of life, you know, and I want to do it honestly. And the program taught me that I'm back again on I can do anything I want to do, and I can be anything I want to be.
Motto! 5 people doing productive things.